Shoot. Hello. It says we are live. That was a short countdown. Aaron, just confirm. Can you put something up there to make sure that I'm live? We missed that countdown there, but we'll go ahead. Hi, everyone. My name is EllyMae with Silhouette Secrets Plus, and also I am on Swift Creek Customs as well. So you'll find me in 2 places on social media. I'm so excited to share my card today with you. Yep. Okay, perfect. So my card is up this morning. If you probably haven't seen it because they were just released, but this is it looks a lot more complex than it is, but it is a fun flip card that can be customized in many ways. So you have this little tag here that you can pull out and it flips out. So you have this cool flip action on the front, looks much more complex. And then you can also add in something on the inside. And you can change these out in many different ways. So over the years, I've created all kinds of different ones. So you can stamp a sentiment on the inside of that and have something on the outside. And the great part is you can use all kinds of pattern paper for it. So you can use everything that's in your stash. You can use up scraps, all kinds of different things. So make sure to check out that class. I do include the cut file for the SVG cut file for this, but you can also just use your paper trimmer, and I've included a cutting diagram as well. So just a little bit about me. I have been teaching silhouette classes since 2016. I apologize for my voice, and it sounds worse in my head. My kids shared their head cold with me right before this live. So my voice sounds it'll crack a little bit. But I've been teaching silhouette users since 2016. I've been in the industry for about 20 years, and I really now teach crafting for technology. I teach silhouette and I teach Caesar cutting machines specifically, but I also do sublimation and glow forge. And I love creating my own designs, and I love a challenge. So I am known for troubleshooting on both sides of the silhouette and the Caesar world. I get in and I play around with it, and I learn how to do things, and I try to figure out the easiest way. So I do answer a lot of questions on social media about the machines and cutting issues and different things. And I do have the Silhouette Secrets website, which has the blog tutorials as well as YouTube channels under Silhouette Secrets and Swift Creek Customs as well. So I look forward to sharing the class today with you. And I would love to see your card creations. Post those in the event Facebook group. You never know when you're going to inspire somebody else. And your card does not have to be the same as my card. Use your supplies that you have on hand and create something fabulous. So what questions do you have for me? Question is, if you have a 4.5 piece and cut a slit at 2.25, there is no long and short side. They are the same. Is something wrong in the directions? I will have to go back and look. Actually, right here, let's see. I must have wrote that wrong. So right here, I'm measuring with my ruler. You have a 4.5 piece, and the slit is at 3.25. So I will look at that and adjust that. I'll make a note of that. Thank you for letting me know. For card slit, I will try to remember, and then I can update those and send those to the host to update. So thanks for letting me know that. What's next? Would the static mat work with the Cameo 4? So this question is in regards to the new Silhouette Electrostatic mat. It is awesome. I love it. For those that don't know, it is a new technology that Silhouette has released. It is only compatible with a Silhouette Cameo 5, Silhouette Portrait 4, and a Silhouette Curio 2. So no, it will not work with the Cameo 4. The Cameo 4 and any older models do not have the technology inside the machine or the powered connection to power the electrostatic mat. I love them. I actually own 2 of them. It is a technology that holds your materials. It needs to be flat and smooth material, so works amazing for paper and cardstock, vellum, thin, delicate materials that are often hard to remove from a sticky adhesive cutting mat. It holds it by static electricity. So when you turn the bed on, it creates a charge that holds it. If you can think of like a balloon, when you rub the balloon on top of your head and it sticks, and not when you have product in your hair, but when static sticks, that is what holds the materials in place while it's being cut. Now, it doesn't work with all cardstock or all materials, but for the majority of them, I have cut a wide variety of materials on the electrostatic mat. And it is so nice, excuse me, to be able to just lift off the protective sheet and you can just, wave your pieces in the air. They just fall off. You don't have to remove it from the cutting adhesive mat. So great question. I do love it. I recommend it. And I use it a lot. So it does take up more space though. I will say that. So you have your cost benefits there. It has saved me time. So great question on that. Hi from Quebec, Canada. Okay. Is the mat you use exclusive for the machine you are using? If not, is it compatible with the scan and cut? Yes. I believe you're referencing the electrostatic mat that I showed a demo of in the class. I try to remember what I showed in the class. It is exclusive to Silhouette. The companies don't play well with each other. So yes, the electrostatic mat is only for the Silhouette Cameo 5, the Portrait 4, and the Curio 2. It is not compatible with any other models or brands of machines. All great questions. I just watched the video. I'm wondering if the Silhouette is better than the Cricut. That is a very loaded question. It depends on who you are. The first thing is the best machine for you is the one you're going to use. So while there are differences between Silhouette and Cricut, the best one is one that you will use. If it's going to sit in the box, it's not a good machine for you. Silhouette allows you to have a little bit more control over your files and designing in the software. It is offline and you have a little bit more control over your cut settings and different things like that. Cricut is more kind of plug and play, but they are online only. So you have to have an internet connection unless you have done workarounds to make your designs available offline. But it is online only. And, it's just a difference in machines. Like I said, the companies don't overlap each other. So you have differences in what cuts. Cricut does a better job on some thicker materials and things like that. While Silhouette has, a wider variety and different technology in that. So it's really what you are comfortable with. I did start with Cricut when I first started back in, it's been probably since 2005, somewhere in there. And I pretty much burned up a Cricut. It's not that it exploded. I shorted it out because I used it so much. I burned it up. I was one of the original people on when they had the software on a disk. And I found it too limiting for me. So when I couldn't rotate my design the way I wanted to, that's kind of when I switched over and started using other software programs. So it's really just what you prefer. Both machines can use SVG files. So that is a great option to use, especially for events like this. So hopefully that answered your question. Non-answer, I guess. What do we have next? Okay, what is their YouTube channel name? I actually have two. So Silhouette Secrets with EllyMae is what I promote for mostly with Silhouette stuff. That's how people know me. And then once I started with additional stuff like the Caesar cutting machines and working with additional companies and different things, I now have it all under a branch or a big name. It's Swift Creek Customs. I typed it in the chat wrong, Aaron. Swift Creek Customs is where I do a lot of the Caesar, Juliet, and Romeo stuff. And, kind of branching out there. You'll see some videos with my husband and doing just projects in general. We kind of created that to hopefully be more of a generalized hobby channel, but it has really been taken over with the Caesar, Juliet, and Romeo cutting machines because that's just where I've been for the last 2 years. So I do both. And then I do also have classes on Teachable. You can find all the extra information underneath my video. Make sure to check out those links. I am doing a giveaway for classes on my Teachable site. So 2 lucky winners can win lifetime access to a class of their choice. And I have all of those links on my website that you can find underneath my video. So do we have any more questions out there? How do cardstock weight, adhesive type, and full mechanics affect the durability and functionality of multi-layered pop-up cards? So, Erin, can you keep that question up there for a second, not make it disappear? So cardstock weight, first off, if you have a light, thin cardstock, it's not going to hold up very well for your pop-up actions or your 3D cards. It's going to, with the action of it, the more you do it, it's going to wear out. Too thick of cardstock and you're not going to have the flexibility. This is probably between 65 and 85 pound, but do you know how cardstock is weighed or how they get the weights on it? It's actually not by the thickness of the cardstock or anything like that. It's way back in the beginning when it's manufactured and a big, pallet of it is weighed. That's how they determine the weight of cardstock, is how it's processed. So even within some cardstocks will feel the same and they can be labeled as different weights. So, I use between 65 and 85 pound cardstock. Again, the label just, you have to kind of feel and touch and see. Quality cardstock is what I would recommend. If you get lower quality cardstock that's fibrous, it's not going to cut very well on a cutting machine, but it just will affect your project. Quality cardstock that has a smooth cut is going to just make your life a little bit easier. Adhesive type, you want a good strong adhesive for your cards. This one is it's a tape runner. And I've tested several different tape runners over the years. When I made this one, I think it's in the video, I was using 3M tape runner, which I've used for years, 15 years. And they hold up very well. But you can also use some double-sided sticky tape if it's a good, strong adhesion. I don't tend to use liquid adhesive as much on cards, but I'm getting more into that. It just depends. You don't want too much of that liquid or it can warp your paper. Full mechanics, it's just you want to make sure that card fits well together. So hopefully that's answered that. I do use liquid adhesive on some 3D like box cards or 3D projects, paper crafting projects. Paper crafts are really where my heart is, where I started with the cutting machines. And, I just enjoy doing those a lot, but 3D projects do take a lot more time. So let's see what else we have. Okay. Jean says, what brand of stamps did you use? And what was the little piece of material used under the cardstock you were stamping? So the brand of stamps I used to be a close to my heart consultant several years back. They are no longer in business. When I used the stamp, I think they were still in business. It's the little piece of material they had packaged in with it, but it is just a piece of foam. So when you are stamping on something, it can give you a better stamped image because it has a little bit of give to it. I also have some 12 by 12 self-healing cutting mats also are backed with that same type of foam. So it's just something that gives you a little bit of leeway when you're stamping, and it allows that stamp to kind of settle in, and it's not going to be as stiff when you're pressing, when you're doing it on a hard surface. I'm doing it on my table right now. You can't see it, but yeah, so that's what that is. It can help, and you can use sometimes even just having an extra sheet of cardstock underneath where you're stamping can help, or a self-healing cutting mat, that kind of thing. Any crafty hacks you can share? Usually I'm finding those as I go. Let's see. Crafty hacks. I do a lot of machine cutting with mine. So what I'll usually see is, for instance, Erin's card. I'm going to point Erin out here because I watched her video yesterday. I love it. But I would take that and I spend the time and I put it into my software and I make the dimensions in the software, which I saw a couple users do with their Cricut. And then I can cut it and I can cut several. So my crafty hack is when I cut things for cards, I cut for several. So I will cut up the pieces, even if I don't have time to put them together. I can just set those aside and then I have all the pieces cut. All of that work is done. And then I can just go ahead to do, an assembly line fashion. So that, I guess, would be my craft. Where do I get my ideas? This idea actually came from watching another, at the time, it was a close to my heart consultant, but I was at a virtual event and then I reached out to them for permission to make it into a cut file and put it out on my blog and everything like that. So then I can teach the class and share the idea. But most of the time I am getting ideas from Pinterest. I'll sit at night while I'm watching TV on my iPad and just pin. It drives my husband nuts because he says, you're always working. But that's my creative. I've done that for years and I pin ideas. I don't necessarily make the same idea, but it gives me, it sparks creativity or sparks ideas on how could I do this, but different, or that part is cool on the card. Maybe I can add that into what I'm working on currently, that kind of thing. So I have thousands and thousands of pins out there with ideas. And then really some of the creative ideas that I come up with come from user questions. So when somebody asks me a question on my social media channels, I may not have something created that uses that same technique, but then once I get into troubleshooting and working with it, that might prompt me to create a new YouTube video, or like I just released a YouTube video today on my Silhouette Secrets YouTube channel. That is a quick, easy project out there. And that, I learned that at a virtual event years ago. I set that aside or not a virtual, it was an in-person event. The lady showed me how to create this, custom gift bag topper. So super easy to do. And it just sat there for years as an idea for me. So I'll collect things along the way. I get inspiration out in the world, in craft stores, or seeing other people's classes. I do watch other people's classes too. So it's just a matter of wherever I look, pick up new hobbies all the time too. So do we have any other questions? What is your favorite silhouette hack? Ooh, gosh. I'm not really a big hack person, but if you think about it, I probably am. I do a lot of my designing in silhouette. For instance, this last week I did a silhouette live on Monday night that I shared that I was trying to create a card and I was doing it all by hand, which I love making things by hand. So oftentimes I'll make a prototype by hand. And then I have all those measurements that I can plug into the Silhouette software or Caesar software. But my measurements were right, but it still wasn't working out. I don't know if my paper trimmer was wrong or if I just screwed up. So I finally just gave up, but I wasn't giving up on the project. I took that into Silhouette Studio. I let the tools work for me. So if you want to learn some of the hidden tools of the Silhouette software and see how I worked with that, I use a move by tool that moved at the exact distance I needed. So I knew my measurements were correct. My math was still right. I don't know what happened. I don't know why I was wrong by cutting by hand and why it worked in the Silhouette software. So I would say that's probably me. I try to figure it out in software programs and let it do the work for me, let it do the calculations. So I'll have to think of some hacks. What's my favorite crafty tool? I am a scissor hoarder. Okay, so here's a few pair. Okay, I have 5 pairs just within arm's reach. Now these ones are labeled felt because I have to label my scissors. And this only started recently in the last couple of years because my kids are all crafty too. And my daughter grabbed my $15 pair of close to my heart, micro trim scissors and used them on wire. And then I label this pair of scissors. I have 2 pairs that are labeled crap. Those are the scissors my kids are now allowed to use. So they have to look for the crap scissors. And then I still hide the really good ones. But I don't even want to count how many pairs of scissors. Every time there's a sale on like Prime Days, or, I see that kind of deal come up, I just grab some and then I just throw them in my studio, storage room, so that I have those whenever I need them. So I'd have to say that that's mine. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for joining in today. And if you do have any further questions, make sure to put those in the comments of the YouTube video below. I will come back and take a look at those once this video gets done processing, and I'll answer any questions there, or you can put those in the event Facebook group. Thanks for joining us today and have a great day.